Oh, bro, come on now.
I'm gargling on these nuts.
There's no need. There's no need.
All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everyone. Welcome once again to the Banlist show. Today, I once again have Soulblaze on here. I've somehow managed to get him a third time here. Are you excited for this one?
No. Just kidding.
Great.
We're back. We're back. No, you know, I already know. Noah had to bring me back to carry his YouTube channel. It is nothing of new information. We are back once again to be looking at some crazy cards. How you doing?
Right. I'm doing amazing, especially after curating all these crazy cards that I want to show you. So, like you said, this is going to be a wacky episode. Last time I showed you very cool cards, very powerful cards from the Eternal format. This time I'm going to show you like the cards with the craziest effects you've ever seen. Doesn't mean that they're good or not. I just want you to guess if the card has been good or not, and if it has been like banned ever in Eternal, yes or no. But that would obviously come automatically from the first question.
Yeah.
You ready for the first cards?
Yes. First card.
Okay, so the first card actually features your second favorite Pokemon. Or third favorite, I don't remember.
Third favorite. So this is a very new one. Tachyon Bits. Once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from your bench to the active spot, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Laser Blade, 3 energy, 200. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. So there's some kind of effect. I've seen this in play. It is. Yeah,
it's a fairly new card.
Yeah, it is some kind of effect where you can, I don't know, switch it into the active spot like many times from the bench between the active spot a lot.
Yeah. So this Pokemon is limited to once per turn doing that, but you can have multiple Iron Valiants, of course.
Right. So you just have the bench filled with Iron Valiants, I guess. Do I think it's broken? I've seen it do a lot of damage, so I think it's okay, but I don't think it's broken. I don't think it's ban-worthy. I don't think. That's my take on it.
Final verdict. So, like, if you were to give it a from a 1 to 10, a grade, what would it be? It would obviously not be 10 because I would be banned, but then I'm saying like around the 6s or around 8. You can do halves.
Do a 0.5 value?
Yeah, sure.
6.5.
Okay. I guess you're half right on this one. So this card, I would personally give it like an 8.5 or a 9 in Eternal format. Like in the current standard format, this card's not really doing very much. It's like alright in future boxes, but not that great. In Eternal, this is a lot better because there's a lot of different switch cards. So that you're not limited to 4 in your deck. You can have like, I think there's 16 copies as in like, so 4 different ones that basically do the same thing but have different names.
Yeah. And
you might be thinking like, oh, it's very inconsistent to get like 4 Iron Valiants in play on turn 1. But it's not, actually. It's actually
really
very easy to find several Iron Valiants at least on like turn 1. All thanks to the card I'm sending you over right now, Techno Radar. Releasing the same expansion.
If you discard another card from your hand, search up the 2 future, and you just use Iron Valiant on both, put them into your hand. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could just basically get 2 Iron Valiant with this. And the reason why I'm saying this is an 8.5 or a 9 is because this is very often paired in a donk package. I don't know if you've heard of the term donk before.
Yeah, donk is the you kill him on the first turn you can.
Yes, exactly. You try to kill him on turn 1 going first specifically, so that your opponent hasn't done anything yet. So obviously you can't do an attack yet, but in combination with the specific poison package that can ramp up poison damage, I'm not going to show that whole package, and then the Iron Valiant switching, this is pretty gross, because you can put a 20 anywhere, so you can put it on the bench as well. So even if they start with like, I'm not going to show the whole package because that's like 5 different cards. So it would honestly, with this kind of deck, it would be kind of consistent to KO the 70 HP Pokemon in the active and then 60 HP Pokemon on the bench. Like 80% of the time. I hate this specific donk deck. I do think Iron Valiant is on the list of like, maybe it's ban-worthy, but the thing is, with like big basic Pokemon, if you go against a deck with big basic Pokemon like Raging Bolt or stuff, you're just hard lose every time. So it's a very polarizing matchup and not really a fun deck to play, in my opinion. Some people like it to play it. I don't. I think this is gross. But it's a pretty good card. You were half right. It's definitely not banned, but might be in the future.
All I hear is that I'm correct. That's all I hear.
All right, 1 for 10. That's going to be the final score for you as well, by the way. Next card for you is right here.
Oh, I've seen the art on this. Hold on. This is a V-Star Aerodactyl.
Yeah.
Lost Dive. put the top 3 cards of your deck into the Lost Zone every time you attack for 3 energy. That's pretty good.
Do you know what the Lost Zone is?
Yeah. Ancient Star. Until this Pokemon leaves play, it gains an ability that has... Wait, until it leaves play. So while it's in play, it has the effect, your Pokemon's V in play, except any have no ability. Ooh. I think this is definitely banned.
Definitely banned. What would be your reasoning for that?
Because of the V-Star power. If you remove all abilities, it's going to be hard to stop Aerodactyl from just attacking and getting stuff into the Lost Zone. Obviously, you can just abuse the Lost Zone with a lot of other cards. So Aerodactyl boosts the Lost Zone. You can't use abilities to counter it. I think it's going to run away with the game pretty easily. And it also is pretty healthy, and it does 240 damage.
Just a reminder, this evolves from Aerodactyl V. So it's technically a stage 1, just so you're aware.
Yeah, no, I don't care. I think it's broken.
Okay. I'm glad I made you say at least one thing wrong, because this card is fucking ass. It's terrible.
Oh, really?
When this first released, it was okay, because this released like right after rotation. Not a lot of things were very powerful back then, so it was often paired in an Arceus V box. I'll send you over Arceus V. Arceus V has Trinity Charge attack, which makes it very easy to charge up Aerodactyl. So this gained some popularity because in the most meta-relevant Pokemon back then were Pokemon V or V-Star with abilities. But other than that very specific metagame, when this card just released, this card has been ass. Like, to waste an attack to try and ability lock your opponent is so unbelievably bad. When this Pokemon is knocked out, that ability leaves play as well. When you have to, like...
Oh, yeah.
If you want to use like a Professor Turo or something to heal it, it leaves play, so the ability leaves too, and you can't reuse that attack. It's only a once per game thing. And the other attack is absolute fucking garbage, because you have no control over what cards you put in the Lost Zone, and those cards are just permanently out of play for you. Like, if you...
You don't!
No, it's just the top 3 cards of your deck. Like, it's very hard to control what's on top of your deck. Like, it's possible to maybe do like the first 2 or something, but it's... So what if you just, like, for example, what if you have like 3 energy left in your deck and you use Lost Dive and all 3 energy are just gone by Lost Dive, and you're like, oh shit, well, guess I can't charge up another mon this game anymore? Yeah, no, this card is ass. I'm sorry.
Bruh.
It's, honestly, I want to say like the worst or the second worst V-Star Pokemon. It's very close with another one that I might show in another video, which also has a kind of crazy effect.
I just seen Lost Zone stuff do crazy work. So.
Yeah, and the thing is, that can do crazy work because with cards like Comfey and Colress's Experiment, you have control or like semi-control over what cards go to the Lost Zone. You at least have a choice, and with Lost Dive, you really do not.
And then you have the Giratina as well.
Yeah, but also includes with... Yeah, exactly. That has like one energy attack that you look at the top 4 and then draw 2 of them and put the other 2 in the Lost Zone. But once again, you have a choice, at least. So you don't cock yourself out of your very own win condition or something like that. No, this card's terrible. Sorry. That was a swing and a miss, but that's okay.
Okay.
Not everything can be a winner.
We're going to have some of those.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to send you your next card. Please try to keep a straight face when I send you this card, okay?
I can't promise anything. Imakuni's Doduo? So this is a very old card, of course.
Make sure to read its Pokemon powered attack.
Yeah. When this Doduo retreats, hold this card and throw it as hard as you can. Because Dodrio is running away. Throw the card horizontally with a snap to get the farthest distance. From the moment you use this attack, you begin to sing a song. While the song is being sung, the game continues. When the song is finished, this does 30 damage. So obviously this card is not good at all. It does.
What makes you say that?
It's just a meme card, bruh. What are you talking about?
Not a meme.
Sing a song and throw the card. Like, what is that gonna do? If it was like, begin to sing a song. While the song is being sung, the game continues. If the song is finished, you win the game. Then we're talking. But as it stands, this is absolutely horrible. If it gets banned, it gets banned for some like of course I don't think you could ever bring this to a tournament, but I don't think it's broken ban. Not at all.
You think it's physical limitations banned?
Yeah, if it's banned, it has to be that way. I'm gonna say not banned just because of we're talking about the card strength, and I think that would be just horrible to say that the only reason this card would be banned is if you throw it and hit somebody in the eye. It's that kind of.
And this card is banned for that very reason. It sucks, but it's a meme, and people don't want to create unsafe environments at tournaments.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And it's unplayable in online tournaments because you can't physically throw the card if you don't have the card physically. And how would they know when the song is finished when they can't even hear you on online tournaments? No, this card is a meme. You're right. I just wanted to show it just for the shits and giggles.
Yeah. But if we're talking about card strength here, and then it would not be banned for that reason.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Point for me.
The next card is a little more serious, but still kind of crazy effect.
Okay.
Are you ready? Because this is because the Pokemon Alakazam has had a lot of very strange cards over the years. I'm not going to show all of them in this one. I might save some for future episodes. I'm going to show you this one from Mysterious Treasures. Came out in 2007.
Oh, yeah. No, I got my first grandbaby then. Once during your opponent's turn, when your opponent's Pokemon uses any Pokepower, you may discard 2 cards from your hand and prevent all effects of that Pokepower. This counts as that Pokemon using its Pokepower. This power can't be used if Alakazam is affected by a special condition. So basically, they use a Pokepower, and you get to use your Pokepower instead, which is just discard 2 cards from your hand and prevent that effect.
Yeah, it's like a counterspell.
Yeah, right. Psychic Guard, 50, 3 energy. During your opponent's next turn, any damage done to Alakazam by attacks from your opponent's stage 2 evolved is reduced by 30, and you have 100 HP. Honestly, low-key, I think this card is ass.
You think this card is ass, and why do you think that?
Because canceling your opponent's Pokepower is one thing, but it's low damage, low health card. It is a stage 2, and you have to discard cards from your hand as you're trying to cancel an effect. So I think there's a lot of resources thrown or used or spent to get a decently good effect.
So if this were like a 1 out of 10 rating, you would say it's like a 3 or something.
I would say it's probably like a 3.5 maybe.
Okay. So when this card came out back in 2007, it would be like a 2.5 or something. This was fucking awful because the average hand size back in the day was a lot smaller than it is now. Now, of course, there's more powerful draw. This card does see very, very sparing play in slower control decks that already run another Alakazam line. So it's only fitted in that deck specifically as a one-off, because it already conveniently runs another Alakazam that is actually pretty good. But even in that deck, it's specifically mid and only very niche scenarios it helps you in. So I would say 3.5. I would say right now it's like a 3.5, yeah. You're pretty much right on the money. This card, unfortunately, it's very fun. This is like the first card I've shown you. There's not a very many cards actually at all printed that have interaction on your opponent's turn. That's very unheard of for Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy that this is a balanced way of interpreting it.
Yeah. No, I think if it actually had a better effect to do on the opponent's turn, this card would be very broken. As it stands, it's very bad.
Yeah, I mean, canceling Pokepowers on your opponent's turn is very powerful. It's just that the 2 discard is way too steep of a cost. Even with a larger hand size, it's very hard to pull off.
Yeah, right.
But it's a very cool card nonetheless, I would say.
Or if it was like a one-off, you pay, like you discard 2 to gain the effect to be always able to cancel a Pokepower, it would be kind of strong.
Yeah.
But if you have to discard 2 cards per Pokepower you're trying to cancel, then you're just not.
And also it's even worse than that because you can only do this thing once per Alakazam per turn.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, so no, this card is kind of doo-doo, but it's a very fun card.
Yeah. Next card, that's horrible.
Alright, you ready for your next card, man?
Yes.
Yeah, this one might be a little bit better. But is it that much better?
Just a little bit though, just a little bit. Oh, I've seen this one. Ruler of the Night. As long as this Pokemon is in your active, your opponent can't play any tool, special energy, or stadium cards. Jesus. Featherstorm, 93 energy. This attack does 30 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon's benched Pokemon. Is that 30 damage on top of the 90?
So it's like 90 to active, 30 on one of their bench GX or EX, and 30 to another of their bench GX or EX.
GX, there's a GX here as well. Your opponent reveals their hand, discards 2 cards from it. You can't use more than 1 GX attack in a game. I think this card is broken.
You think this card is broken?
It's a stage 1. It has over 200 HP. It has a damage that attacks the active and gets you bench damage, and it has a ridiculous ability. And you can have a once per game effect on it as well. This card is insane, I think.
So, rating from 1 out of 10?
I think we're talking like a 9.5.
A 9.5? Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're almost there. You're pretty much there. Do you think this card was banned or not?
Yeah, I think it was banned.
Do you think it was banned or still is banned?
Oh, that's a different question.
That's a different question. I know. I'm not counting it for the valuation, but I'm just curious on your answer.
I don't think it's banned anymore, but I think it has been banned in the past.
Okay. So yeah, you're mostly right. This card is still banned.
Okay.
Because it's even more broken than you think, because you named all the right reasons. It's mostly the GX attack and the ability. This card is, we call this kind of like Hardscrow Floodgates. I think you're familiar with the term Floodgates because you played Magic. Just any card that stops your opponent from playing a certain card or doing a certain thing.
Okay.
Those are what we call Floodgates. This is like a triple Floodgate in one because it stops tools and special energies and stadiums, which is kind of crazy. But the reason why this is an especially strong Floodgate is because of the card I'm sending you now, Duskstone. Feel free to read that text.
Search for a Honchkrow that evolves from it and put that onto Pokemon and evolve it. Yeah.
And the last sentence is the most important part.
You can use this card during your first turn or on a Pokemon that was put into play this turn. Okay.
Yeah. Jesus. So you can, if you go turn 1 first, you can just Murkrow, a bench of Murkrow, and then just like Duskstone immediately for a Honchkrow to evolve into it. Yeah, no. Actually, this is so goddamn obnoxious.
But this is the kind of case where, let's say you're like me, you don't play card games at all, and you're asking me, okay, look at this card. Is it broken or not? Let's just say I don't know nothing about the game. Look at how much text there is on that card.
On Duskstone, you mean?
Card.
Or on Duskstone, or on Honchkrow.
Honchkrow. Just look at the Honchkrow card.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of text.
There is. It's 3 abilities on it.
Yeah, but there's also
3 abilities.
There's also a lot of text on the Alakazam card, and that one sucks.
Yeah, but that's still 2 blocks of text.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Like 3 different blocks of text.
Okay, yeah, fair. It has extra text on top of every attack and like unit. Okay, I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that's generally a good consensus, but not always. Because we've seen Alakazam, of course, but there's been other GX Pokemon with like 2 attacks and an ability in this era that have been absolute dog water.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's generally a pretty solid consensus. It's mostly because of the Duskstone that this is very broken. I would say nowadays, if Duskstone was on the ban list, I don't think Honchkrow GX would be on the ban list if Duskstone was on. Yeah, I think both of them actually entered ban list immediately after expansion release, and then like Duskstone left the ban list because that card seemed to be fine if it's not a broken Honchkrow GX. Yeah.
I mean, it says unfair on the card. Like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah, honestly, the GX attack is not even that bad. It's 95% the ability. But the fact that it has like at least 1 usable attack doesn't help its case.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting, and it's just stage 1 as well, which is crazy.
Yeah,
that's the hard part about these kinds of videos. Is I can look at a card and it might not, like, it could be kind of the Alakazam case, and then there's a second card that makes it really broken that I don't know about as I'm trying to guess.
Yeah.
That you're showing me after, so I have to kind of.
I mean,
think.
The fact that you thought Honchkrow or GX was ban worthy without showing you Duskstone kind of proves my point that this card should not be on ban.
Yeah.
All right. So we've already seen 5 cards. I know we're going on like full speed train. But what I usually do in my most recent videos is I show my opponent, quote unquote, the person I'm recording this with, I try to figure out for them what the best card is of their favorite Pokemon of all time. So your favorite Pokemon is Gyarados/Mega Gyarados, right?
That is true. Mega Gyarados specifically, yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's only like 1 card ever printed of Mega Gyarados, so that would not be an interesting question. I just went ahead and looked for the best Gyarados card, period. And there were a few good contenders, like there's been like more than 50 Gyarados printed over the course of the years. Surprising, Gen 1 Pokemon, huh? But I would say it was tough to decide between 3 of them, but I would say this is the best one.
Yeah, sadly, this does not compare at all to base set Gyarados, so I'm not going to be looking at this card. I'm just kidding. What is that? Theta Double?
There's an extra effect on the Pokemon.
Yeah, Theta Double. This Pokemon may have up to 2 Pokemon tool cards attached to it. That's insane. Stage 1. I mean, the health on it is kind of low, but you can use tool cards to compensate for that. Full Retaliation. This attack does 30 more damage for each damage counter on each of your benched Magikarp. That's cool. You can just have a lot of benched Magikarp, and you can just make them into Gyarados if they get knocked out, or no, if they don't get knocked out. Thrash. Flip a coin. Heads, 30 more damage. Tails, Pokemon does 30 damage to itself. I think that's kind of fine. I think this...
Yeah, no, you would never use a second attack on this card. This is a deck that you would run with 4 double colorless energy, just to charge up that first attack easily. And to get the damage counters on Magikarp very easily. You've seen this card before, I've shown you it before. Team Magma Secret Base. If you just have this in play, you can just bench a Magikarp. So only Magikarps were legal were 30 HP, so you would literally have max damage counters possible on them before them dying. So yeah, this was solid archetype. I wouldn't say it was like meta defining or anything, but it's like top 8 at a few regionals. It's been top 16 in a few. I think it's even won one regional. This was like pretty good for like about half a year, I would say.
Yeah.
So that's the best card. No, it's not banned, not at all whatsoever. I just wanted to show you the best Gyarados card as an intermezzo, just because I thought it would be a fun thing to do.
Yeah. Cool.
This was not for evaluation.
No.
It was not for evaluation, no. It doesn't beat base set. Yeah, man, the Bubble Beam goes so hard.
Yeah, Gen 1 Bubble Beam.
Okay. Alright, are you ready for your actual next card?
I am.
Alright. Have a look at this one. Boop.
Gyarados. Just kidding.
Imagine if I did that.
Turn all of your prize cards face up. Those prize cards remain face up for the rest of the game, and that's an item.
Interesting, huh? Very wacky effects, this video.
This is a very, I can already tell, this is a very, like, high skill to be able to gain anything of it. If you just play the game for fun, this is not going to help you that much. But if you play this in, like, tournaments, seeing what cards get prized, that will basically be able to tell you, give you much better odds of getting stuff you want in the deck. Because you know either it's prized and you have no shot, no matter how much you look in your deck, or you just like, you know it's in the deck somewhere because it's not prized, and then that will give you the odds of finding. And that will kind of help determine your play style. So I think this goes against one of the core values of the game, which is having prized face down. So I think this is very strong and bad.
You think it's bad? Okay.
Yeah.
Would you give this card like a 9 or a 10, or do you think it's just like an average card, but it specifically breaks the fundamental parts, and that's why it's bad?
No, it breaks the fundamental parts. I think it's really strong. I'm gonna say like a 9.
Okay. So this card, like you said, is good, but you have to consider, if you check your deck, this would only be good in knowing what order to grab your prizes. This card is pretty alright as a one-off right now, I would say. Back in the day when this release was a lot better, because the top meta decks were already hyper-aggressive decks. And playing this as a one-off, it allowed you to basically choose your prizes, so to say, choose from your prize cards. But there's also another downside to this card that you did not consider, which is that your opponent can also see your prize cards. So they also know what cards you have access to in your hand and deck. And so if they see like your second boss, for example, in your prizes, they know like, okay, they can't do that because it's right there.
But when you play in tournaments, do you get your opponents at full deck list?
No, you don't. But
exactly.
if you're very good, if you're a very good player, you know the counts. You know the counts of all the good meta decks. This card is very rewarding for, let's say, the lesser intelligent, the lesser intellectual blessed, so to say, because you can just check your deck. Like, if you play Nest Ball, for example, to search for a basic Pokemon, you can look in your entire deck and figure out what prizes you're missing, specifically. Because you can see your entire hand and deck, and you can infer from that, okay, these are the 6 that are prized. Obviously, you don't know where they are in the prize cards. But you know that they're there. And yes, down map helps in the hyper-aggressive matchup specifically because you're taking prize cards fast, and then that way you would know how fast you can grab them actually, or like which cards you would give priority to grab. So I would say back in the day it was like an alright card. Nowadays it doesn't see very much play. It's don't get me wrong, I think it's kind of a slept-on card for Eternal right now because there's some hyper-aggressive decks that could potentially use it because they get fucked over by pricing a little bit.
I see.
But a lot of people are like, I don't want my opponent to know my prizes, which is also a fair thing. Like, it's a game of information as well. It's a very interesting card design wise. It's not necessarily very broken, therefore also not bad at all.
No.
Okay,
that's fine.
That's fine. We all got a hit on this.
I just tend to know that when something messes with like the core value of the game, it tends to be very exploitable, and that has a lot higher chance to be broken. Yeah,
I definitely understand where you're coming from. That's why I included this card in the video, because I thought it was an interesting effect to discuss.
This is a perfectly like bait soul card.
Absolutely, 100%. All right, are you ready for card number 7?
I am.
All right, I'm gonna show you another Gen 1 Pokemon. Here we go. This card came out the year I was born.
This is
1999.
This is the fossil set, right?
Yep, correct.
Evolves from Mysterious Fossil, so it's a stage 1. 40 HP is nothing. It is something back in the day, but it is like, if we're talking Eternal, this is nothing for a stage 1. Clairvoyance, your opponent plays with his or her hand face up. Power stops working if Ammonite is asleep, confused, or paralyzed. A game of information, as you say. 10 damage plus 10 more damage for each energy attached to Ammonite, but not used to pay for this attack's energy cost. You can't add more than 20 damage this way, so the max damage you can do is 30 with it.
Yes, correct.
But Clairvoyance is the thing in question here, of course.
Yeah. I want to give you a little more information, by the way. I'll show you what Mysterious Fossil does in case you're not familiar. Okay. Because it says this card says evolves from Mysterious Fossil, so I'm not going to show you the Mysterious Fossil that was printed in the Fossil set. I'm going to show you the Mysterious Fossil that was printed in the Power Keeper set. So this card was these cards were never together in Standard, but they are of course together in Eternal.
Play as if it was a basic Pokemon while in play. This counts as a colorless Pokemon as well as a trainer card. Has no attacks of its own, can't retreat, and can't be affected by special conditions. If Mysterious Fossil is knocked out, doesn't count as a knocked out Pokemon. Your
opponent gets no prize cards for it.
Yeah, and just discard it. At any time during your turn before you attack, you may discard from play. Yeah, this seems kind of strong, not gonna lie. Because you can kind of be like, okay, I can choose when you can kind of attack me and not gain anything, versus if you don't really have that aggressive power out on the field, then I can activate my Ammonite, and lo and behold, I see what cards you have. So I think it's strong. I don't think it's ban-worthy, but it is quite strong. I would give it probably like a 7 out of 10, maybe.
All right. 7 out of 10, final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. This card is like a 0.5. It's fucking ass.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's terrible. No one's even consider playing this card in Eternal in like the entirety of the Pokemon history. 40 HP is absolutely terrible. And it's a stage 1. You have no reliable way of actually finding the fossils in your deck because they're trainer cards and not Pokemon.
Okay.
So no, this card is absolutely dog water. I would say Mysterious Fossil is like an alright card. Because there's some other Pokemon that can evolve from Mysterious Fossil, like I think Kabuto and Aerodactyl can.
Archon as well?
No, this only counts for the Gen 1 fossils, this Mysterious Fossil. Okay. So only a Kabuto and Aerodactyl. And there's like some alright cards that can evolve from this, but Almanite's fucking ass. Like the information, it does not matter if you're playing a 40 HP stage 1 Pokemon.
No. Okay.
The information game. Dude, it got him again!
No, but I said it wasn't banned, so I get the point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If we were keeping track of points, you would get a point. But like you saying that this is an 8 is like the best thumbnail I could ever wish for.
7.
Or 7. Still, best thumbnail I could ever wish for. Saying that Ammonite's better than alright. Let's go. Well, I got my win. This is all I needed from this video. Okay.
Hey, we're both happy. You got your win. I got my point.
Exactly. All right. I'm gonna show you another card from Gen 1. Are you ready?
Hey. Yeah.
Here you go. Charity, baby.
Charity, baby. Attach charity to your active. Unless that Pokemon gets knocked out, return charity to your hand at end of turn. If that Pokemon attacks and does damage to the defending Pokemon, you may reduce that damage by any amount. Rounded to the nearest 10. What does that mean?
Feel free to read the card again.
You may reduce the damage by any amount.
Yep. So if you do any damage, you may choose to do less damage than that.
Yeah, so what? You attach it to something and then it's like, okay, I attack, or they do attack and they attack charity.
No, so like, it's like you just see this as a tool. Back in the day, tools did not exist, but it's like a tool that you attach to your active, and it does return to your hand at the end of your turn. So it's a tool that you attach to your own active Pokemon, and then you can declare an attack with charity attached, and you're like, okay, this attack does 60 damage, but I want to do like 50 or 40.
Why would you want to do less damage? That sounds... There's probably something like, oh, if you do this amount of damage, you can do it.
I told you there were some crazy cards in here with weird effects.
Maybe as like remember you talked about this card, Unknown, called Damage, where you have to hit a very specific amount of damage, don't you?
That's damage on your own Pokemon.
Oh no. Okay.
And it's like at least that amount of damage. You can also go over. So
you know what? It's broken, but I'm gonna say it's dog shit for content. This is a 2 out of 10, and it has never even been bad.
And you would be entirely
wrong. Correct.
This card is ass. I tried to bait you so hard.
Oh, let's go.
This card does have one. Okay, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't say this is like a 0 out of 10. I would say this is a 2 out of 10 because it does have one very, very, very specific use case.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's what I said. I said 2 out of 10. Yeah,
no, that's why I said you would be right. Like this, but this card has a use, as crazy as it sounds. And the use only really appeared recently because a certain card named Wellspring Ogerpon EX, which I'm sending over to you right now, gained a lot of popularity. And its first attack, Sob, does 20 damage and retreat locks your opponent. But you would rather do, in the decks that you would play Charity, usually control decks, you would rather do 0 damage than 20. So you're never KOing your opponent's Pokemon and they're just stuck in the active spot. And they can never get out. Specifically just to retreat lock them. And because of 20 damage, you would eventually KO your opponent. You don't want that to happen. So you use Charity in those specific situations where you want to retreat lock something in a deck where you already have specifically Wellspring Ogerpon. But this, I would say Charity is only like usable, borderline usable, specifically because Wellspring Ogerpon gained a lot of traction in Eternal formats when it released. Because this card is kind of bonkers, Wellspring Ogerpon. I'm not going to ask you to evaluate it, it's because it's kind of a bonkers card, and there's a lot of cards that synergize with Terra cards or whatever. But that's the reason why this was used, and why Charity was used with this. I find it crazy that Charity actually has like a use after all these years. But no, the card is absolute dog shit still.
Let's go, I got it. I hit it right on the money after all.
You hit it right on the money.
Not only that, you've shown me Ogerpon, which I've been gaining some traction with recently. I'm happy.
Oh yeah, the crit Ogerpon builds, I've been enjoying those sweeps, man.
Yeah, right? Those are really going crazy.
I'm glad to hear that Ogerpon is equally broken in TCG as in a regular game.
Yeah.
It's really cool. You know what else is really cool?
Your mom. No, let's go on to the next card.
The ninth card that I'm going to show you.
Subscribe to Noah right now, by the way.
Oh, true! I haven't even did a call to action yet. Go subscribe to me, and also to this man to the right of me. Go sub to him as well. He makes pretty good. What kind of content do you do again?
No, I actually do. We play Dress to Impress.
Hell yeah, baby!
You should lock in.
Yeah, and also he does some draft league content from time to time, but that's more of a secondary thing.
Yeah, that's more. Yeah, it's kind of crazy calling it even a secondary thing. It's just something. It's just very sporadic, really.
Yeah, only like twice a week or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway, next card, because it's technically 2 cards. Enjoy. Enjoy reading double the text. Palkia and Yoga Legends.
Yeah. So what is this card called?
It's Palkia and Yoga Legends.
Yeah, no, but what kind of type of card is it called?
A legend card.
Okay. So this is like a big card. It's like 2 cards in one, kind of?
Yeah, exactly. Make sure you read all the text except for, like, I don't know, illustrators or something.
It's hard to read the white text, but like to the right of the legend there. Put this card from your hand onto the bench only with other...
Okay, so what that basically says, that portion of the card, is you can only play this Pokemon if you have both of the halves in your hand, and then you can play it as one Pokemon on your bench.
Oh, yeah, so they are 2 separate cards, but you have to have both of them to play it.
You have to have both of them to play the one Pokemon, yeah.
Takes 2 prizes, pretty good HP on it. Or no, it's actually pretty bad HP on it. Okay. Sudden delete. Choose one of your Pokemon's bench Pokemon, put that Pokemon and all its attached card back into your opponent's hand. It's like a recall. Time control. Discard all metal energy attached to Palco Dialga Legend. Add the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck to his or her prize card. Add the top 2 cards? Are you increasing their... Wait.
You're increasing their prize card count, yeah. I told you I had some crazy effects today.
But isn't that really bad? You want to take their prize cards.
No, you take your own prize cards to win the game.
Oh, that's really good.
But you have to discard all your metal energy from this Pokemon to do that.
Oh yeah, no, but you probably have some kind of way to easily put metal energy on this. Band broken.
You really think it's easy to accelerate 3 energy to this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Band broken.
Okay.
We're gonna put an 8.5 out of 10 on this one.
8.5 out of 10. Okay, cool. Okay, so I will say, if you use this card and you get off like only 1 time control, I would say it's pretty high. But this card also gives up 2 prizes, would be kind of bad. This card would pop off if you can consistently use time control like more than once, I would say. Preferably like north of 2 times. Then it becomes kind of like an insurmountable difference. So you've correctly assumed or correctly evaluated that this card can be crazy if you do that attack multiple times. Because the prize card deficit is just so insane to come back from. And you know what's funny? There's actually a pretty good way to get the metal energy back for free to read Heatran level X. Heatran
level X? What the fuck?
Okay, so I'll explain how level X works. There's a gold border on the bottom that explains what it does, but it's kind of like evolution, but you can only do it in the active spots.
Okay, that's just like a mega evolution kind of.
Sort of. The most important part about level X is that when you level up to a level X Pokemon, the Pokemon can still use attacks and abilities that are underneath it. So like from the base Heatran that it evolves from or levels up from can still be used.
Okay.
That's the most important part about level X.
Heat metal. Can't remove special condition burn by evolving or de-evolving. Whenever you flip a coin for the special condition burn between, treat it as tails, okay?
Yeah, that's not the one.
No. Once at Heat Wave, once at the end of your turn, if Heatran is on your bench, you have Palkia Legend out and active, and you have this in the bench, you may use this power. If you discarded basic energy cards attached to your fire or metal active Pokemon by using a Pokemon's attack that turn, attach up to 2 of those energies back. Okay.
Yeah, and since Dialga and Palkia and Dialga Legend is a water and metal type, if you use the time control attack, you discard all 3 of your energy, assuming that you just have like 3 metal. But Heatran at the end of your turn can accelerate 2 of them back, and if it goes back to your turn, you can just attach 1 again.
Yeah.
And just do the attack again all over. Yeah, no, this card's gigabanned. I would say this is like I would say 8.5 is pretty accurate, because obviously there is counterplay, but it's not very fun to play against this, is it?
No, I think it's really kind of fun to play against, actually.
I think it's the kind of game-breaking effect that we don't want in Eternal format. Let's just keep it like that. And even if we don't have Heatran, there's things like Metal Saucer that can accelerate metal energy from discard to benched metal Pokemon. Like, there's plenty of ways to re-accelerate energy back to this Pokemon, but I would just show you Heatran level X because that's the most consistent one.
Yeah.
Or like the most concise package you can use, specifically. Yeah.
Oh no, I have an even more concise package, actually.
Oh my god. Bro, it's great. It's so concise that I coughed on it.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, you coughing on it? Jesus.
Alright, so you've done pretty well this episode, but curious to see if you can get this very last card right, because I saved, I think, the spiciest one for last. And I'm not just saying it because it's a fire type. but because this effect is actually spicy.
When did Gardevoir become a fire type?
So this is a Delta species Pokemon, where this was a certain set of expansions where Pokemon were a different type than we usually are. They were basically regional forms back in the day. Either regional forms, or did they just Taro? Exactly. This card came out in 2006, so like during the Gen 3 era. Till end of Gen 3 era.
Taro Gardevoir, let's go. Imprison. So this is a stage 2, 150 HP.
Yeah.
Little on the lower end for stage 2, I'd say, but you know, it's still decent. Take 2 prizes. Let's read Flame Ball first, because it's probably obviously not that. You may move a fire energy card attached to Gardevoir to one of your benched. Okay, that's pretty okay. Nothing too crazy to write home about. Imprison. Once during your turn, before you attack with Flame Ball, if Gardevoir EX is your active, you may put an Imprison marker on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Any Pokemon that has any Imprison marker on it can't use any Poke Powers or Poke Body. It's a Poke Body.
So Poke Body is kind of like a passive Poke Power.
150, take 2 prize cards. Flame Ball doesn't really do that much damage, and this has to be your active.
Yeah. So when we talked about Alakazam, you said like, oh yeah, it would be a lot better if it was like a permanent stop of a Poke Power or Poke Body or whatever. This is your permanent thing. Here you go.
But no, I'm getting mid vibes from this. Like a clean 5 out of 10. Never been banned. That's what I'm getting from
Okay, so what if I tell you that this card is Giga banned?
I can see that too.
Then I would be lying, because this card is indeed incredibly mid.
Yeah, right. It's 5 out of 10, right?
I would say it's like a 6 out of 10, because this does actually see play in Eternal format, just because, like I said earlier, it's a permanent stop on one specific Pokemon's Poke Powers or Poke Bodies. Which can be kind of crazy, because a Pokemon can have multiple. Like I showed you Heatran, it has like a Poke Power and a Poke Body, and the Heatran it evolves from might also have a Poke Power or Poke Body. So it's, I would say, and this is, you can
add an Imprison marker to whatever each time you attack, though, can't you?
So it's like a once per turn thing. So you don't even have to attack with Gardevoir. It just has to be in the active at some point in the turn. You don't even have to attack with it. I would say the only reason I would give this a 5 out of 10 and not a 4 out of 10, or like I would give this a 6 out of 10 over like a 5 or a 4, is because Gardevoir has received a ludicrous amount of like actually insanely good cards over the years. I would say like on average Gardevoir probably got like the best cards of all time. And that's why it's kind of like allowed to be like in a deck like this, because I'll show you another Gardevoir card that's like actually like insane. Your Secret Wonders Gardevoir, but it's kind of like a toolbox, an extra tool, just like an Alakazam that you can use, but it's a lot better than Alakazam, but still not useful in every matchup. But feel free to read the Secret Wonders Gardevoir, because that one is actually insane, and the reason why you would want to run Gardevoir in your deck.
Search opponent's discard pile for support and use the effect of that card. Jesus, you're just grabbing cards from the opponent.
Yeah, and you can still play an extra supporter during your turn. Like the effect of that Poke Power is just a supporter from your opponent's discard, so you can effectively use 2 per turn. And Psychic Lock disables Poke Powers from whatever Pokemon they use. So yeah.
Anything that allows you to touch your opponent's cards. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So no, you were right. The Gardevoir EX Delta that I showed you, kind of mid. Really cool card though. It's like not as mid as you think. It's solid. I would say honestly, you did pretty well in this episode. Better than I expected. I will still make a thumbnail about the Ammonite one, because I'm just happy that I got you so giga hard on that one with the bait.
That's fair.
Anyway, dear viewers, that was the video. If you enjoyed this content, feel free to consider subscribing, liking the video. Also, feel free to subscribe to Soul Blaze, of course, if you like Draft League content or Dress to Impress stuff, I guess. This is it for now. I'll see you guys soon, though. Have a good one, and sleep tight. Whatever you're planning on doing.